All right, so this is the Gyroor X2. And if you saw my recent video on the Gyroor C1S, you'll notice that it's pretty much the exact same thing on the bottom half. And the only difference is they gave us a longer stem to make it a scooter, and they took away the seat. But other than that, all the specs, the bottom half, the frame, everything is exactly the same. If you didn't see that video, I'll go over it real quick. All right, starting here at the front, you're gonna have a 12-inch pneumatic tire, which is a couple inches bigger than the standard scooter tire. That makes things more stable, more maneuverable, easier to go over bumps and grass and things like that. You got a front headlight up front. You got no suspension. You do have a fender here to keep the elements off you. And right here is gonna be your folding mechanism. You're just gonna lift this little tab up here and fold it down. You have a little latch in the back that latches to your basket. So now you can take this thing with you and put it in your vehicle. Folding it back up is super simple. You just lock it in place and you're ready to go. Taking a look at the deck here, the deck is pretty wide, but it's not long enough for me. With scooters, I feel like you need to have a little bit of a longer deck so that you can have your feet a little bit further apart. So I wish that they could make this deck a little bit longer, but they did add some rubber coating on here. The C1S had like a sandpaper grip tape, so this is a little bit more grippier for standing on. You've got your kickstand down here, which I wish was a little bit longer because this scooter leans really bad, and I'll show you in a minute. Here in the back, we've got our 550 watt motor. We've got rear disc brakes, rear fender to keep those elements off you. And then of course, you've got this basket back here, and they give you a tail light you can install and plug in. So you got a little bit of storage back here. So that's an overview of the scooter. Let's go ahead up to the cockpit and take a look at that. Starting on the left, we've got our grips. They do have the palm rest, which is pretty nice. You've got your front disc brakes. They give you a little bell here. In the middle, this is gonna be where you can actually adjust your handlebars. So you can loosen this up, tighten it back down, and you're good to go. This right here is gonna be the hook that you're gonna use in order to clamp it down when you wanna fold it. And then looking over on this side, this is gonna be your LCD screen. You've got your speed, you've got your trip, you've got your battery level, and your mode button. So to switch to different speed modes, you'll press this once, that goes to speed mode 1, press it again, speed mode 2, and speed mode 3. I think if you double click, yep, you're gonna turn your headlight on and off. Now this is gonna be your power button here. So as you can see, push the power button, it turns it on and off. And then this is your rear brakes. So that's a look at the cockpit. Let's go ahead and get started on our ride. All right, let's start off with an acceleration test. Now I expect it to be about the same as it was on the C1S. Took about 14 to 14 and a half seconds to get up to our top speed of 18.6 miles an hour. Keep in mind, this does have a 36 volt battery, so there's not a lot of acceleration going on here. It's just more of a leisurely scooter, but let's go ahead and test it out. I promise all these burnout marks and donuts are not from me. All right, let's start off here and go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, yes, about the same. So about 14 seconds to get to the top speed of 18.6 miles an hour. Not the fastest. So if you're looking for a leisurely cruise, this is something you're gonna want. If you're looking for a speed demon, definitely not something you're gonna want. One thing that I do like that I haven't experienced before on a scooter is these 12-inch tires. So it's a little bit more like an e-bike and not so much like a scooter. And what that does is, in my opinion, it gives you more stability when you're riding, going over bumps and things like that, like going over these reflectors. It's not as jarring as when you have 10-inch wheels. So I do like these 12-inch wheels on a stand-up scooter versus the C1S where I was sitting down. So it's a whole new view when you're up here on these larger tires, which is cool. I also noticed that the X2 is a very well-balanced scooter. So there are some scooters that just love the speed wobble. This one does not. So if I let go of my hands, I'm still going straight. It does not want to crash. So that's one of the tests that I always do. How well do they balance the scooter? Even with no suspension on it, I'm not even really touching it. My feet are just keeping it straight, and the handlebars don't want to wobble and crash. So let's go ahead and do a brake test. I'm at 18.6 miles an hour. I'm gonna slam on the brakes as fast as I can, and we'll see what happens. All right, so I did lock up the rear brakes. They did a pretty good job. Let's try it out in the grass and see how it does. So these larger tires make it easier to ride in the grass. Now the C1S did not want to go in the grass at all. I was going about 4 miles an hour, but right now I'm doing 13 in the grass and it's doing pretty good. Oh, no sidewalk, off-roading, off-roading. Now you do get a little bit of storage with this guy, with this basket that we have here in the back. As you can see, I got my book bag back there with some of my gear in it. It's sitting back there just fine. Now they do give you some straps that you can put over it, so if you are on, you know, some bumpy things, that your stuff doesn't fall out. I'm not using them today, I just have it back there, but as you can see, got a nice little basket for some storage so you can take things with you. Well, we've been riding around here for a little while and I am down to 3 battery bars left, so it looks like we're pretty much in line with what the C1S was also giving us, which is about 10 miles or so in speed mode 3. All right, I wanted to show you a fun little sidewalk here. It's got a lot of ups and downs and craziness here, so I'm gonna get a little head start. And let's go ahead and have some fun. Still hear that rattle. Woohoo! Whoa! 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 That was pretty scary. Uh-oh, missing sidewalk, missing sidewalk. Oh. So that's why you use the straps right there, because sometimes you lose the stuff in your basket. Why don't we go ahead and put the backpack on, and that way we won't have any more mishaps. But that is exactly why they give you the strap, so that you can strap your stuff down for when you're riding in situations like that. Yeah, buddy, getting it. All right, let's go down the hill here. Whoa! Cruising at 18.7 miles an hour. So the X2 has a nice wide deck, and that's good for the C1S when you're sitting down and you have your feet like this. But when you're standing up on the X2, I feel like it's not long enough. Like I have my foot here, but my other foot wants to be kind of back here where the fender is. So I really do wish that the deck was a little bit longer, especially for the X2 when you're standing up. All right, let's do a brake test. Oh, not too bad at all. Still quiet, no screeches, no squeakiness going on. But you can still hear that rattle. All right, let me go ahead and give you my pros and my cons on the Gyroor X2. Let's go ahead and start off with the cons. Con number 1 is going to be the range. It's definitely not going to be something you can take on long trips with only about 10 miles of range for a person my weight in speed mode 3. Now, you might get a couple of more miles if you're lighter than me and you ride slower, but who wants to do that, right? So the range could be better. Top speed could also be a little bit more. I can feel the scooter cutting me off at 18.6 miles an hour, which means it can go some more, and I wish we could get a little bit more speed out of it. I also wish we had a little bit more of a powerful battery. Only having 36-volt battery leaves the acceleration a lot to be desired. As you saw, it takes about 14 seconds to get up to the top speed, and that's not really that great. So I wish we had a little bit more of a powerful battery. I also think that the deck is a little too short for standing. When it comes to sitting down, not too big of a deal. Your feet are next to each other. But when you're standing, you're kind of in that side stance and you want your feet a little bit further apart. So I feel like my feet are real close together when I'm standing versus when I'm sitting. Other than that, I don't really have anything else bad to say. It's a really nice scooter. It's built quality, and it's got a lot of great features, including these 12-inch tires. First time I've ridden a scooter with 12-inch tires. I really like it. It rides like an e-bike in a way, a little bit more maneuverable, a lot more stable, and I really like those tires. I also think that the headlight and the taillight do a good job if you want to do some riding at night. If you want to go far distances, I'd say get a bigger, brighter light, but that headlight does pretty good, and it's kind of hit or miss on scooters, especially ones that cost just $400. And that's going to be another pro, the fact you can get this for just $400. So kids, teens, parents who want to get a first scooter, maybe a college kid that wants to get a scooter to get around campus, you're not going to break the bank, and you get a lot of scooter for $400. So I think the price is a huge pro as well. If you have any questions or comments about the Gyroor X2, please leave them below. I'll be happy to answer anything you got. Also, if you want to purchase one of these, I'm going to leave a link down below for you as well. And if I earned it today, hit that like and subscribe. My name is Hobart for Hobart's Reviews. It's the Gyroor X2. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you next time.